Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. Today on the podcast, we're talking to a friend of mine, Clayton Barker. He's out here on holiday from Dubai. He is a Durban boy, but he recently embarked on a new self-love, self-care journey and got a little bit more healthy in his life. And I've been following that journey of his, and I'm so proud of him. And I just thought it would be so nice to catch up and just chat a little bit about that, because sometimes when it comes from someone who is not necessarily a gym person, it kind of sparks something in other people as well. So I thought that you might find this really interesting. So I'm really excited to let you get to know Clayton. I'm so excited that the universe aligned and timing was just so perfect that we could do this. I've shared your pictures of your online journey and so many people have been blown away by them. So I thought it would be awesome for people to hear about it from you. So welcome to Clayton. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So Clayton, easy introduction. 35, from Durbs, but currently live in Dubai. And been on a little bit of a fitness journey for the last year and 3 months, I'd say. And it's been pretty fun. Back on holiday, which is really cool. So I get away from the Dubai heat, but it's been really good.
Amazing. So what does self-love mean to you?
Self-love for me, I never really believed in the term or thought about it much, to be honest. But like I said, just over a year ago, I was never really unhappy with my weight, but at one point, my health took a little bit of a turn. I had high blood pressure and bordering on high cholesterol, and I was just like, if I want to spend more time with family in the long run, I need to invest a little bit of time and energy into myself, and that just started a whole movement, which is pretty cool. It's changed my outlook on life. It's changed my mindset with motivation, and it's been. So self-love in a nutshell is just, appreciating what you have and maintaining it for me.
Definitely. So do you think that the concept of self-love is maybe something that men think is more for women? Like it's frowned upon to talk about?
Yeah, 100%. Especially my generation. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but, boys always grow up, with the whole big boys don't cry and, we don't talk about emotion and all of that stuff. So it's making a turn kind of towards everybody should self-love, but also it is it's seen more of a woman thing to do, because in order to self-love, you have to kind of reconnect with your emotions and have, you should be able to see things from both sides. And, it is slightly frowned upon, but I'm glad it's changing. But for guys personally, like I don't really talk about it, which I think is the hard thing. Like part of it is actually venting to somebody, somebody you can trust that isn't going to shame you or anything. And they should just look at you and be like, dude, I'm so proud of the way you're doing things. And it's leaning more towards that way. I mean, I can look at my circle of friends and they've seen my journey, and, I've had a lot of positive feedback, not just from girls, but also from, my guy mates and other people that I know. So hopefully it turns to a guy thing as well. But at the moment it's majority seen as a lady thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is becoming more mainstream with social media as well, and everyone sharing more, and people saying, stop saying to little boys don't cry, and stop making it such a gender stereotype. 100%. So I think it's becoming more and more okay to talk about it, and people are going to help the younger generations now coming up to not be like, you have to choose the blue toys and, don't cry. So I think and also the boys will be boys.
Yes.
So they're changing the whole narrative of it. So I think it is going to help with the younger generation.
You also have the whole thing of like, parents call their little girls my princess. And, if you got a little girl that's a bit more tomboyish, and you've been calling her princess her whole life, she kind of is going to be like, well, I'm so confused with who I'm meant to be.
Exactly.
And that just creates, more stereotypes, really.
Yeah. So, like you said, you recently started taking more care of yourself and started being healthy. So I want you to tell me about that and what sparked that. Was it just because of the health?
So for me, it's funny. So, my flatmate, or my housemate, I should say, back in Dubai, she's kind of been into gym for quite a while. And like I said, I never really was like shameful on myself for how big I got. So, I mean, essentially I was 105 kilos and I'm just on 6 foot. So theoretically, as per the clinic, I was obese. But she kind of kept poking, not poking fun, but she was like, oh, why don't you join me at the gym? Why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? But to me, it's, I looked at it long term. So how do I spend more time with my godson? So, you know, my niece and my nephew back home or back in Cape Town. So that's how I looked at it. You know, it's like, if I don't start this, there's basically, you know, from a health perspective, there's less time and less things I can do with them. And that pretty much started the journey. And it's been pretty hectic and fun at the same time.
Yeah, because you, like, in your friends group, so background, Clayton is one of my brother's friends, and obviously we've become friends through that. But, like, you were never one of the gym going ones. Like, it was like,
hated the idea.
As much as everyone else was like, come to the gym with me, you're like, no. Like, you surfed, and you were wakeboarding, and you were active in that way, but you were never like a gym person. So, like, to see the side of you and you to get so into it, it's really been, like, amazing to watch.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing. So when I was younger and in shape, in, you know, air quotes, I was always like, you know, I'm fit enough by surfing and skateboarding and wakeboarding and doing all those things. But it helps to a degree until, you know, you get used to it and muscle memory and your cardio becomes good in those sports. And then it's really difficult to get cardio in general. So, yeah, I mean, through knowing your brother and everybody, it was, your brother's always been into gym and been into eating healthy and all of that stuff. And I've just been like,
cool story, bro.
Yeah, cool story. I'm just going to, you know, open another beer and, you know.
Almost rebel, hey?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree. It's just, I always had that whole thing of like, you know, gym boys. And it's always somebody who's like, acts like a bit of a jock. And I'm like, it's not who I want to be or who I want to be associated with. But I like to see myself now as like, yes, I go to gym, but I'm still
you.
Yeah, I'm not like short T-Savs and a rugby jersey, walking around.
I cannot picture that.
No.
Ever. But I think that's important, and so important lesson to other people out there as well is that you don't need to conform to something. So just because you have a vision of what a gym person in quotes is, you don't have to conform to that. You just have to be yourself and do it for your reasons.
Yeah.
You know,
you don't need to fall into the stereotype of what a gym person is. Well, you know, everybody's got a stereotype of a CrossFitter and a gym junkie. It's what you make it.
Yeah. So with this whole journey, how are you feeling now?
Amazing. So I mean, I've lost 25 kilos.
Jeez, I can't believe it.
So yeah, I started at 105 and I hit 80 kilos at 1 year and 2 months. So it took a long time because we reset my metabolism, and there was a lot of things that we changed from a health standpoint and my diet. But now it's just I've had back injuries in the past and fractured my back and broken ankles and all of these things. And with that, when I was at 105, I could do the activities I would do, but I would do them for less time because my back would start hurting or something like that. Now I can, do whatever I want to, and I actually really don't feel it. Where I've really noticed a change is my sleep. So, I'll go to the gym, I'll get home, I'll prepare my meals for the next day. And then when I fall asleep, I fall asleep. And, in the past, I always,
insomnia,
3-4 hours was like a good sleep. Now I'm like, if I don't get 9, I'm irritated with the world. And I've stopped snoring.
Sure.
Which is a big deal, so
it's out there, everyone out there, it's not just about losing weight or anything. It's actually about the health aspects and benefits that you get. I mean, sleeping, not snoring, which is probably leading to more sleep as well.
Yes.
Like, it's amazing the benefits of your health. If you look at it from a health aspect, that is more important to me, even as a trainer, than what someone looks like.
Yeah. And I mean, the sleep for me is the biggest deal because one, you have more time to recover. So you feel less stiff or whatever in the morning. And I wake up and I'm like, I've never been one to wake up and get out of bed. You wake up or you snooze your alarm and then you kind of like lay there contemplating if work is worth waking up for. But then, you kind of, now I don't really, okay, I'm on holiday now and I've snoozed my alarm twice.
Yeah, you're on holiday, you're allowed.
But at home, my alarm goes off, I get up, I make my bed, I get my food ready, I make myself a very strong cup of coffee and I go to work, so it's, life's actually, mornings have become easier to deal with,
It's become like such a cool routine as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I've recently realized that self-love is really hard for people to wrap their heads around. So another way of starting the journey could be calling it self-respect. So did you feel that by looking after your health and wellness, it was showing your body more self-respect?
For sure, 100%. Not just your body, but also your mind, because for me, the hardest part was going to gym. So I tried to do gym in the morning, and I mean, everybody's slightly different. I try to do gym in the morning, but I'm so tired for the rest of the day because we kind of smash it. But the hardest part for me is like I get into my car after work, my gym bag's on my passenger seat. It's literally a 5-minute drive home or a 25-minute drive to the gym.
Sure.
So where my self-respect comes in is like, what, just commit to it because you're going to feel much better after you finish training. But yeah, the self-respect thing is so important. Like you've seen my before and after pictures. Currently, it's going to change, hopefully. And seeing, because I've always felt, you see yourself in the mirror every day, so you actually don't notice a change, and I have this analogy of if you have a full roll of toilet paper and you take off 10 sheets, do you notice that 10 sheets are gone? No. If you've got a third of a roll and you take off 10 sheets, do you notice that 10 sheets are gone? Pretty much finished.
Yeah.
And that's how I saw my weight loss thing. But I never saw it in the mirror because it's an everyday thing. And I only really stand on a scale twice a month.
Yeah.
So when you see that change or you see 3 kilos down, you're like, okay, something's working. And then when I saw that before and after, I was like, that kind of motivated me and gave me a little bit more self-respect in the fact that I'm the one that did that.
Yes.
Nobody else did that for me, so.
Literally no one. Also for me, obviously personal training and having a trainer is expensive in general and a luxury. But in Dubai, it is flippin' expensive. And I think, like, obviously I'm proud of you for everything. But knowing how much it costs there to have a personal trainer and the fact that you have put that money into yourself, for me, was like the biggest thing.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. The money that I'm spending, so while I'm in Dubai, I actually don't drink. And that's part of how I lost the weight as well as I did, because I wasn't saturating my body with basically a toxin. The money, I mean, I'm not going to say how much it is, but it's a lot.
It's so much that I wish I was working as a trainer in Dubai. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, my trainer's, he's a personal trainer. He's a nutritionist. So you're kind of getting the whole package, which is pretty awesome. And you now have a level of accountability. So I'm accountable to the money that I'm spending. So if I don't go to the gym, I'm essentially throwing money at a wall. He's pretty well known. So I'm accountable to his reputation. So if he posts something on social media and there's no real change, people are going to look at him and be like, okay, is he actually as good as people think he is? So there's that level of accountability, and that's where the respect comes in again. You work so hard for your salary at the end of the month and you're giving a decent portion of it away. But it was for a good cause, essentially.
Definitely. So what little self-love or self-care practices do you do each day?
Well, I don't know if I can say that in public. No, it's for me, it's just like I said in the beginning, I've never really been one for like motivational speakers and all of this stuff. And I've been listening to a lot of a specific guy by the name of David Goggins. We were chatting about it just before we came on.
I'll link his Instagram in the show notes so you guys can go check it out.
So for me, I basically just I pop onto Instagram every now and then. He's got a little message, or I've actually just gotten his audiobook and going to be getting his actual book. And, like I just, nowadays I basically get to work and I just kind of appreciate what I have because I've worked really hard for it. And it's just knowing, I mean, it's like any day. Some days you wake up and you're like, oh God, I don't want to work today, or I don't want to see this person, or I don't want to do that. But for me, I work in leisure and entertainment, so I'm meeting thousands of different people every day. I manage 327 colleagues. So it's one of those things where you're like, oh God. But it's just wake up in the morning and you choose your attitude, because that's the attitude you carry through the day. So that's what I do.
Love it. And we've touched on this a little bit, but how do you balance work and life in Dubai with your new training? Because, I mean, Dubai life is hectic.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've pretty much stopped drinking. So that's a big deal as well. For me, I don't feel the need to drink, or necessarily party. I'll go out for dinners nowadays, but I mean, as well, the cost of a dinner in Dubai is
expensive.
It's pretty expensive. I mean, everything. So what I do is basically I've got such a good routine and I'm happy with it. I'm not bitter at the fact that, I can't go to dinner with these people because I've got to go train. I'd rather go train, because I've become really good mates with my trainer. I've become really good friends with lots of other people in the gym. So I actually want to see them, because it's only, I train 4 days a week with my trainer and then 2 days a week by myself. So going to the gym by myself I'm still excited.
It's like not a chore.
Yeah, I'm meeting friends, and we're hanging out for a little bit. So Dubai life is difficult in the beginning, but I've been there on and off now for 8 years. Yeah. So, I've done all the party stuff in my first couple of years, and now I just want to focus on me, my career, and my fitness.
It makes me very happy.
Clayton is saying that.
I'm like,
who would have thought?
Gosh, it's so exciting. So what advice would you give to people that are maybe too scared to start moving and trying to get a bit healthier?
It's going to sound so cliche, but it's the first step. So when I first started, it was one of those things where it's literally as simple as walk 15 minutes down your road, turn around and walk back. Just start with that. You kind of release a little bit of endorphins, get some good music in your ear, get motivated. And then next week you do 20 minutes down the road and 20 minutes back, and then half an hour down, half an hour back. Before you know it, you're racking up your step count. Your heart rate's going to be elevated. So you are essentially going to be burning, X amount of calories. But the first step is realizing you need it, and then actually committing to doing it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So it's in your head, to always say, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is always tomorrow. It never happens. So it's always better to just commit to it and just say, you know what, let me just try. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I mean, at the end of the day, your health isn't just for you.
Yeah. It's
for those around you. It's for the people you love, your significant other, your kids, your nieces or nephews. That's the people who are going to benefit from having you around for longer and having a fitter you, because you can actually go on a hike with the kids, or you can do whatever and not feel out of breath, and that makes you feel embarrassed.
And it impacts all of them around you, because you'll motivate them to then want to be healthier.
Exactly, yeah. It's just getting out of the house. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think the first step is just putting on some trainers.
Yes.
And then literally walking outside.
I live in trainers.
Yeah.
And I never used to.
Yeah.
I'm wearing sneakers now, but like back in Dubai, at home I'm in trainers, at work I'm in trainers, and it's just, one, they're super comfy.
Yeah.
And two, it's just now you're like, okay, well, I actually have no excuse to walk.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're made for.
Exactly. Oh, love it. And is there anything else that you'd like everyone to know about you?
Ooh. I'm single.
He really is.
But yeah, no, other, it's just, not much really. I don't know. Kind of a private-ish kind of guy.
Well, I think what's interesting of your job, tell them about your actual job.
Oh, okay. So I'm an operations manager at a big water park in Dubai. And like I said, I manage 370 somewhat colleagues, and it's pretty crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's so different to life here because we had work Waterworld and New Shark, but like you never really know anyone who's working there. But also because the first time that you went to Dubai, you were working at another one, a smaller one.
I've worked in 3 now.
Yeah, and to the point where he's so good at his job, and he won't say this, so now I'm saying it, that he was like approached to do this, and it was literally from the start of inception, like they were designing the whole place.
Yeah, so
Blow your own horn.
So that's kind of, I was headhunted because of the stuff that I'd done in my previous 2 water parks in Dubai. And then these guys flew me to Brazil. I had to go and do some consultancy work for them in Brazil at another water park there to get some ideas. And then after I handed through my presentation, a couple months after that, they emailed me and they were like, this is the job we want to offer you. The nice thing about being headhunted is you can barter everything.
Yes.
Because if you want me, you need to pay me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's crazy. I mean, the worst part about Dubai is the heat in the summer. So I mean, we'll get up to 50 degrees. I mean, even when I left Dubai to come here last week Tuesday, it was 36 degrees and 67% humidity at 4 a.m. So
I don't know.
you need to embrace the suck and be comfortable in sweating.
Yeah,
because that's all you do.
It's like,
I'm attractive. I'm attractive in my white shirt. It's a everyday wet t-shirt competition.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find you on social media?
I don't know if I want people to find.
I mean, you just didn't ask for single, so you know.
Yeah. Fair. I'm single, so my Instagram is. Just Instagram. It's just Clayton Barker, one word.
I'll link it in the show notes, girls.
It's a private account, so you won't see anything unless you actually friend request me.
Yeah. So we'll know who wants to actually follow his fitness and health journey, and who also just wants to check him out.
I post some cool things every now and then.
Yeah.
And then I mean that's kind of, and then Twitter is Clayton Barker, but the only time I update that is when I'm on the loo.
So maybe just find him on Instagram.
Just Insta is fine.
It's probably a little bit safer.
Yeah.
But this is so fun getting to chat to one of my childhood friends and hear his journey, and keep looking out for the next episode, and I will speak to you next week. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme, and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.